Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to another episode of Supergroup Spotlight. Now, last week, I told you that I put together a list of supergroups, or I wanted to see how many supergroups I can come up with. With the help of looking online, I came up with 30 supergroups. Now, I won't be talking about all 30 supergroups, but I do want to talk to you about a handful of them. Some of them you're going to know, and one or two of them, as is possibly with the case with this supergroup, you may not know as well or may not know at all. And the group I'm going to be talking to you about today is Bozzio, Levin, Stevens. Terry Bozzio, Tony Levin, and Steve Stevens. Now, separately, these musicians are considered to be virtuosos in their respective fields in terms of the instruments they play. Terry Bozzio, drummer extraordinaire, has worked with such artists as Frank Zappa. He would go on to form Missing Persons in the 1980s. Tony Levin, bass player extraordinaire, much sought after session musician, has worked with such artists as Peter Gabriel, uh, Robert Fripp, and would also help him form the early 1980s incarnation of King Crimson, along with Bill Bruford and Adrian Belew, which also could be considered a supergroup from 1980 to 1985. Tony Levin has also worked with such artists as Larry Gowan and has recently released his solo album, uh, Bringing It Down to the Bass, in 2024. And the one and only Steve Stevens, guitarist extraordinaire, has worked with such artists as Billy Idol, most predominantly. Has also worked with Vince Neil on his 1993 album, Exposed, where he also played bass, and has also worked with such artists as Harold Faltermeyer on the Top Gun soundtrack, and has released solo albums in his own right. Now, in 1997, these three individuals got together and over a 4-day improv jam session came up with an album's worth of material. Now, it's important to note that all of the tracks on this album, again, were done as an improv jam session. The album we're going to be talking about today from Bozzio, Levin, and Stevens is called Blacklight Syndrome. Blacklight Syndrome was released on July 15th, 1997 through Magna Carta Records. The original release had 7 tracks in total, with a total playing time of 67 minutes even. The album was produced by Terry Bozzio, Tony Levin, and Steve Stevens, and is listed as progressive, rock, and jazz fusion. And the album was recorded from January 27th to January 30th of 1997. The band would stay together for 3 years. They would release Situation Dangerous in 2000, and then they would disband. Now, with regards to this album, Blacklight Syndrome, I discovered this album, I'd say about 3 years ago, and I think it's quite fantastic. The reissue of Blacklight Syndrome that came out in 2022 through Cleopatra Records has 3 additional tracks. So you have 10 tracks in total. And as of this morning, this album is no longer available on Amazon.ca. You can get it on Discogs for about 19.99 Canadian. So if you want to check it out, you can also check it out on YouTube to stream it for free. But the album overall, in terms of the tracks, they're pretty lengthy. The shortest track is 7 minutes and 26 seconds, and the longest track is the lead-off track, clocking in at 14 minutes and 39 seconds. Now, I'm going to go through the tracks with you briefly. The album starts off with the piece The Sun Road, again at 14 minutes and 39 seconds. And it starts off with atmospheric sounds. You do hear people talking, and it almost feels like you're like in a market setting where you're walking down the street and you've got like vendors on each side of you, on each side of the street, and people walking by talking and trying to get the best deal. And when you hear this, or when I hear it, I'm automatically put in that kind of a mindset. and it's fantastic. It starts off with sparse percussion from Terry Bozzio, strong bass from Tony Levin. I do love his bass tone on this album. It borders on well, not borders on. Into the distorted realm in terms of its tone, but it's thick and beefy, and it cracks you in the ribs when you hear it. But it's very prominent in the mix, which I love because sometimes when you hear these albums, or some albums, the bass tends to be kind of buried in the mix, but that's not the case with this album overall. And in terms of Steve Stevens, he comes in right away with a really good thick rhythm guitar tone, and also when he steps out to do a lead, it's amazing. He does a bit of slight shredding on this track, not a lot. I mean, what I like about this track is everything is there, but it's almost like the calm before the storm. It's like something is simmering. Everything builds and builds and builds and builds and builds like tension, but then it comes right back down again. So it doesn't quite spill over the edge kind of thing, right? So you're almost waiting for the storm to come. But does it come? You have to listen to it to find out. There is a great sense of experimentation on this track, as it is with the rest of the album. And there are fantastic rhythmic percussion accents that come in, and beautiful textured guitar accents that Steve Stevens does. And at 11 minutes and 13 seconds, the tone of the track switches to an acoustic feel, where you hear a beautiful acoustic Spanish guitar uh, towards on the end of the track. And that lasts pretty much for the rest of the track. Track two is a piece called Dark Corners, 8 minutes and 32 seconds. And it starts off with industrial sounding uh, guitar riffs that come in, or guitar notes that come in. Very jagged, kind of like hits you, kind of like chopped up buzzsaw sounds. It's the only way I can describe it on the intro. Nice thick guitar tone when the guitars do come in. Heavy distorted bass, as I said before. And then the guitar switches to more of a finger picking guitar style from Stevens on the breakdown section. Beautifully done. And again, Dark Corners does slowly build in volume and instrumentation. And again, great experimentation on this track. Fantastic drumming from Terry Bozzio. In terms of Bozzio's playing, he doesn't. He's fantastic. I mean that's not even a question here. But instead of playing a drum pattern all the way through, or a good like halfway through the song or the piece, he comes in with sort of little drum accents here and there, little percussive sections here and there. I mean, when he comes in on the drums, he comes in heavy and pounding and steady. But on songs like pieces like like Dark Corners, it's more percussion flourishes that he does. Beautifully done. Track three is one of my favorite tracks on the album, called Duende. And it clocks in at 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Great acoustic Spanish flamenco guitar from Steve Stevens. Nice percussive flourishes, and great prominent bass on this track. I first heard this album again 3 years ago, if I didn't already say it. And I do remember Duende as a track that stood out to me. And they take you on a journey with this album. And Duende just it makes you just, you're off on a trip and you don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you can just relax for almost 7.5 minutes and just let your mind wander. You know. Track four is a title track, Black Light Syndrome, at uh, 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Nice bass. Uh, it almost has like a blues style guitar riffs that come in. Nice steady drumming. And from 2 minutes and 36 seconds to 5 minutes and 5 seconds, there is an extended breakdown. And at at 5 minutes and 5 seconds, the band do come back in full um, full force to the end of the track. Fantastic bass on this track. The fact that they're able to do this all as an improv, like as an idea, just okay, let's try this, let's go this way, go that way, and see what we can come up with, is just mind-boggling, like unreal, unreal. Um, Track five is a piece called Falling in Circles, 9 minutes and 6 seconds. It starts off with a repetitive guitar passage that comes in, very prominent bass, very rhythmic, heavy rhythm guitars, and it's got multi sections to it. And this is one of the few tracks that Steve Stevens does do some really good shredding on. And the end of the track, for the last, say, a minute and a half, you have a repeat of the guitar passage that's on the intro section. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Track six is a piece called Book of Hours at 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Again, very lengthy. Uh, Great acoustic guitar and bass that come in together. Beautiful percussion flourishes and a beautiful melody on the acoustic guitar from Steve Stevens. Just amazing. And great percussion elements on this track. Um, this is almost like, okay, we've been playing pretty heavy for the last two pieces. Let's try something light, change a bit of the flavor of the album, and just, you know, have a bit of a respite or a rest stop, kind of thing. But beautifully executed, wonderfully done. Track seven, the last track on the original release, is a piece called Chaos Control, 8 minutes and 48 seconds. And in my notes, I have your total experimentation with guitar notes. Ba- Pretty much Steve Stevens is doing just some bending of notes on the guitar, and percussion and bass do come in. And then they go into the song proper, I guess. It's like a bit of an intro, a good intro, but very experimentational, sorry. Uh, Great heavy guitar chords that come in. And in my notes, I have you pure fun on this. They're just going for broke, right? Just having a good time, and they're going to see where it brings them, right? Uh, Great fat guitar tone on this track for a lead guitar, and beautiful drum fills on this track. And yeah, that ends the album. Now, again, what I do like about this album is they weren't afraid to go where they wanted to go musically. They weren't looking for the hit. You can tell that these were just three friends that got together that just wanted to go and book some studio time and just see where they could go with what they had. Okay, no pre-planned thought, nothing written down musically. Just let's go in the studio and let's have fun and let's see what comes out. And the fact that Magna Carta at the time let them do that, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And who knows if they had stayed together past Situation Dangerous, who knows where they could have gone musically with this. But you know what? I'm glad that we have this. And again, you can pick up Blacklight Syndrome on Discogs. Up until this morning, you could get it on Amazon.ca for like 22 bucks, but you can get it on eBay probably for a hefty price because it's considered hard to find in some spots. But you can get it on Discogs for 19.99 Canadian, and you can also stream this for free on YouTube. Please do before you go buy it. And if you know of this album, please put down in the comments below your review of this album. Do you like this album better? Do you like Situation Dangerous better? Do you think that they should continue or should have continued or should they have stopped or not even got together at all? Again, just opinion. But I love this album. I think that this album should be talked about more. And I'm so glad that I found it. Again, I rediscovered it a few days ago and I added it to my supergroup list. So that's it for today, guys. Please, again, put down your comments on this album below. And if you don't know this album, maybe you discovered something new. Who knows? right? So please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. And I will see you soon with more episodes of Supergroup Spotlight. Take care. Bye for now.